Hello everybody, if there's anyone around, whether this is a good time or not, as promised, I'm just coming back in to give you a little bedtime meditation to take you into letting some air out of the balloon. Because I think for a lot of us at the moment, from what I'm getting from the people I'm speaking to, is that with all this uncertainty, there is a real mixture of emotions that are coming up, and there's this real temptation. Hi Amber. There's this real temptation to want to just push the feelings down, go into practical mode, and just deal with what's coming up. You know, in terms of our physical environment, suddenly we're stuck at home, possibly with young children, or we're stuck at home on our own. And there's like those two extremes of suddenly I'm completely alone and isolated, or I'm facing that, or suddenly I'm alone with like children that I've got to somehow educate. How long for? What's going to happen? So there's all this uncertainty, and we're trying to kind of deal with. Hi Amber, I'm thinking of you actually with young children at home. You know, it's there's a massive amount that's coming up, and what I'm sort of hearing from people is that it's really easy to kind of to keep them stuff down and not allow ourselves to really fully feel it. So one of the things that can happen when we go to meditate is that, guess what, that stuff tries to bubble up. And for some people, that can feel uncomfortable. It's like, wow, I don't want to feel this stuff, this is going to be difficult. But actually, we need to experience it for it to be able to flow through. Now, I came across this Rumi poem on I'm not in the habit, those of you who are new to Bee Community, I'm not in the habit of quoting Indian mystic poetry, but when I was on a retreat a few weeks ago, which feels like a lifetime ago with everything that's happened, Will Kabat-Zinn gave this example of this poem. It's called The Guest House, and I'm going to read it to you in a second, because it's basically talking about the fact that we need to welcome in the emotions that come, let them come through and flow through, because denying them, trying to keep them outside, is not going to work, and it's going to ultimately make us suffer more. So I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to. The reason for that is I want you to, when we go into meditation, I'd like you to bear that in mind, that you might feel things come up while you're meditating, and that doesn't mean that you're not able to meditate. It doesn't mean you're no good at meditation. Our job in the meditation is just to witness what's there and be okay with it being there. So. And when I say okay, I mean accepting. So it's not about being okay and going, oh well, I feel that way, and resigned to it. It's we are being able to sort of see it non-judgmentally and say, look what's arising right now. Because all we can control in any moment is how we are with what arises. Particularly right now, we have no control. All our kind of vehicles and mechanisms we put in place to make ourselves feel like we control our life are all going out the window. So we have that choice to just be okay with what arises, in the sense of acknowledging it. So the poem is called The Guest House, and it says, "This being human is a guest house, every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond." And I really liked that today when I read it, and it helped me now, not just because I could imagine crowds of children violently sweeping the house, but because it allowed me to see the difficult times that might come as an opportunity for something else, for something to come through. So maybe that's comforting for you, maybe it's not, maybe it's just, but I thought I would offer it there for you. So the purpose of the meditation tonight, we're going to be meditating to calm the nervous system, essentially. And those of you who've worked with me before and have done meditation with me, you know that one of the things I talk about a lot is the way that meditation is impacting us from a science perspective. What's it doing to our body? So at this time of night in particular, down-regulating, getting ourselves into that relaxation response is going to be really helpful. So just gently closing down the eyes, just getting yourself comfortable wherever you are. Now it's much harder at this time of night to stay in that active but alert state because we want to kind of almost go more to that slightly sleepy kind of feel. But we are trying to not put the head back on something so that we can make sure that we are staying awake, because the purpose of the meditation is to be aware of what's happening, not to relax per se. Having said that, we're not going for super rigid either, so we're finding that happy place. So I'd like you to take just a couple of bigger breaths first of all, just to allow yourself to come back to the body. We tend to go into our heads when there's a lot going on. We're just going to start to witness that from a different place. And we're going to first of all become aware of what we can hear right now. So opening your hearing to all the sounds that you can hear in this moment right now. Perhaps in the room, my voice, beyond the room. There's the sounds that you can hear, and there's your awareness of those sounds. Just being with that moment by moment, whatever arises, what do you hear? And there may be other things in your awareness, like thoughts or sensations, but they can be there too. Just as soon as you notice that you've been taken over by one of those and your attention's no longer on what you can hear, just notice and come back, gently, without judgment. And then coming back into the body now, we're going to take our awareness and gently rest it just on the very tips of the fingers, allowing you full focus to rest there, but also acknowledging that there might still be other things just on the periphery, and that's okay. In this moment, we're choosing to place our attention on the very tips of the fingers. Maybe there's a gentle tingling or vibration in the fingers, like a humming or buzzing. Your nervous system responding to your attention, your fingers preparing for movement. And taking your awareness and placing it on your toes as well. So now your toes and your fingers are gently in your awareness, resting there. And allowing that sensation to creep up the lower leg, to the knees, up the thighs, into the hips. Perhaps noticing if there's a heaviness or a lightness in the legs as you place your awareness there, without trying to make anything happen. Always just allowing. And if the mind's already taken you off to other things, then just come back gently, without effort. And now allowing that sensation and awareness to spread up the wrists and the forearms, up to the crook of the arm, all the way up the tops of the arms, across the chest, down into the belly, your whole body in your awareness now. Just noticing what that feels like. Perhaps noticing the cheeks, the forehead. Just being aware of any parts of the body that you notice. If there's any tension anywhere, without trying to change it or move it on. Just become aware and notice what happens. Perhaps there's a deeper feeling of relaxation that's just beginning to emerge. And beginning to notice the breath as well. There's your body and there's the breath. We can use the breath to anchor us Anchor that attention that wants to continually drift away to the things that are on our mind, that have bubbled up through the day, that maybe we push down. Just noticing that tendency. Just coming back to the breath each time. Perhaps you feel it where that cool air enters the nostrils or the mouth. Perhaps it's that rise and fall of the chest or the belly. Just allowing your awareness to land on whichever's the most obvious in this moment. Making the decision just based on where's most obvious. And again, if other things are crowding your attention, your only job is to notice. We're not trying to still the mind or stop thinking. We're just noticing, becoming the observer of that process, and without the distractions of our day-to-day, we'll start to witness the actions of our mind and the whirlings of our mind from a distance, without getting caught up. If we do get caught up, just come back this moment to the breath. Rising, falling. When you breathe out, falling. When you breathe in, rising. Rising, falling. The body's breathing for you. And if thoughts come into your mind and they become the center of your focus, just allow that to happen and just label it thinking. 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 Until those thoughts pass. Perhaps they're replaced by another thought or a sensation in the body. If there's sensation, just labeling it sensation. 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 And if there's sounds, just labeling it hearing. Hearing. So whatever comes up, whatever's the most prominent, just labeling that. Just the raw experience, not getting caught up in thinking about it. And as soon as you notice that you're not doing that and that you are caught up, simply notice and come back. Knowing that that is the practice. That we're not doing this practice to feel a certain way, to achieve a certain thing. We're just looking at how we are with what arises in the moment, this moment, which is always the only one we have. And choosing to come back to the breath. That rising and falling. Rising, falling. Rising, falling. Beginning to deepen the breath now. Just really feeling that breath. And consciously taking 2 bigger than usual breaths. Feeling the chest rising. Allowing the breath to return to normal. Slowly moving the fingers and the toes. And whenever you're ready, just gently blinking open the eyes. Just taking a moment just to feel what's happening in your body now. How does it feel right now? Not thinking about it, just knowing it. Just for a moment. And taking this, whatever you've cultivated, into the rest of your evening. And if you can, try not to do anything too lively now, because the state that we've possibly created can carry you into a deep and restful sleep. And letting go of any expectations. So I will see you in here tomorrow at 5:15 p.m. and I'm going to be using an app called StreamYard within the live stream, so it should make it easier for me to share this on different platforms, so we can include as many people in this right now as we can, because we all need this right now. I need this right now. There's so much going on. So if you know of people who you think would really benefit from being able to once a day just stop and connect, then let them know about this, and let's come together. Let's do this together. So wherever you are, sleep well, and I'll see you tomorrow.